What is speed to lead and why should you care about it? Well, if you're a business owner, you know that the sooner that you get back to somebody that just showed interest in your business, in one of your products or services, the sooner you get back to them, the more likely they are to actually become a real customer. So this is something you should absolutely be prioritizing if your goal is to grow your business and improve the experience for your customers. So let's get really specific about what exactly speed to lead means. So let's take an example. Let's say that I'm a homeowner and my AC broke down, right? So I have this very urgent problem. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to type in HVAC companies or AC repair. And the first result that comes up, I'm going to call them at their phone number. If they don't answer me, I'm not going to wait and call back later. No, I'm going to go back to Google and look at the next HVAC company that appears. And I'm going to call their number. And let's say they answer, well, I'm going to do business with them because they were there for me when I needed them. I tell them, okay, I have this issue, and they send over a technician to my house and they fix it. So it's pretty clear that being able to respond quickly to requests and inquiries is very important for actually getting clients in your business. So then that brings us to this question of, well, how do we actually implement that in a way that is scalable, cost-effective, and gets good results for everybody? Well, traditionally, you would have to hire people. But now, because of AI, we have other options available that can be actually a lot better. So we're going to talk about all these options. So first off, let's talk about the traditional approach, which was hiring people. So one of the positives of hiring people is obviously that you have real human interaction. So somebody calls the company and they speak to a human that can understand what their problem is and send the appropriate help, right? But it's a bit difficult because you have to either hire somebody whose only job is to answer the phone, or you have to give this additional responsibility to somebody who already has another role in the business, right? So you have this trade-off of, do you want to have somebody dedicated just for this, which most businesses do not do that. What most businesses will do is they'll just give this responsibility to somebody else. So the positive is, of course, real human interaction, but negative is that you might have to hire multiple people, you have to train them, they might churn. So there's lots of downsides to doing it this way. Now, the other way we can do this, thanks to AI technology, is we can use an AI voice agent. So this would be an automated phone conversation. And the benefit of this is that it's available 24/7. It answers the phone immediately. And it's also much more cost effective because once you do your initial setup for your AI, it's very easy to just only pay a marginal fee for every additional call. You only get charged based on the amount of minutes that the AI is speaking to somebody. So if that's a shorter period of time, it's obviously going to be a shorter period of time than somebody you have to pay for 8 hours and pay them a decent wage. Another positive is that you just train them once. This AI is not going to quit. It's not going to ask for vacation time. It's just going to do its job over and over again without complaining. The only downside of the AI voice agents is that there's a little bit of latency on them that makes it not such a good experience. But the thing is, the latency, it's just a minor inconvenience when it really outweighs all of the other downsides you would get from the traditional approach of hiring somebody. And then finally, instead of doing just the AI voice agent, we can do a hybrid system. So this would mean that instead of going just with physical employees or just AI, we can combine both. And the way we do that is by having the AI only answer the phone on non-peak hours. And then during the peak hours, we let our actual human employees answer the phone. So this way you get a good balance between the two. Now, how do we actually implement this in the business? Well, let's say you've decided, yeah, I'm going to go with this AI voice agent thing. That sounds good. Where do you actually begin? Well, the first thing you're going to need is a voice AI platform. Personally, for all my clients, I use a platform called Retail AI. It's very good because it has this feature where you can create conversation flow diagrams. So that means instead of you having to write a very big prompt where you try to describe all the possible scenarios that might happen on your call, what you can do is you can just create a diagram, sort of like the one that's on my screen right now. You create a flow where it shows every single possible scenario, and it branches out into other scenarios. And then you can say, okay, if this happens, say this. If the person says this, then say this other thing. So you can create a flow diagram where you map out all the possibilities of what might happen in your call and have the AI follow that diagram. So that's the first step, is to use this AI voice platform. The second step is that you have to figure out how you're going to integrate what the AI is doing with your pre-existing business systems. So, for example, let's say you have a CRM. How do you actually get that AI voice agent to send data over to your CRM? And the way you do that is by using an automation platform. So personally, for my automations, I use N8N. It's a very easy to learn tool, and it's going to allow you to plug in your AI voice agent into your business. Now, you can do this in a few different ways. The simplest way is to just use a Google Sheet. So you can set up an AI automation that is taking the calls from your AI voice agent and is simply plugging in the outputs of those calls, the results of those calls, into a Google Sheet. And then you can have an employee watch this Google Sheet and get notified when changes are made to it, and they will be then able to actually update whatever softwares you're using. That's a very easy way to get started immediately, is that you just set up your AI voice platform, set up your AI automation platform to send the data from your calls into a Google Sheet, and then you can just use that to manually update your own CRM or whatever other tools you're using.